Presence, latest film from Steven Soderbergh, starring Lucy Liu, Chris Sullivan, Kalina Liang, Eddie Maday. It's a horror film, or at least in theory, because really there was only one scary film in the entire movie and it comes at the end. The rest of it plays more like drama with a supernatural element and a supernatural storytelling device because it is a haunted house film shot entirely from the silent perspective of the titular presence, the mysterious ghost that roams the house where a family of four moves in. The ghost's intentions and history and identity and reasons for being are unclear through most of the film. We have to infer them from essentially camera behavior until we get the big reveal at the end. So it's an interesting concept for a film, which I really appreciate Steven Soderbergh for. He tends to very often do interesting things with his movies, even if they don't work out, either on a technical level or when it comes to pure storytelling. What he does here is he makes us view everything from the perspective of this disembodied silent camera with an unusually wide lens. And most of the scenes are long single takes. Whenever the presence wakes up, there are no cuts. It follows the characters through their movements across the house and the conversations they're having until the scene is over, which is certainly pretty immersive. I also want to say I loved the ending. The film has an amazing final 10 minutes or so when it finally reaches a climax and reveals what the story had been about all along. However, I have to say that before that, the movie was a bit boring to me. I think it has a few faults. One, you very quickly realize that the presence is not malevolent, so there's not a lot of tension in terms of feeling that any of the characters are in real danger, which leads to me starting to just treat the camera as the camera, not a ghost. Secondly, its movements are, I think, a little bit too human. It moves around furniture. It has eyes at eye level, roughly. It sort of sways while moving. And I thought to myself, this would have been cooler if it felt more disembodied, more incorporeal, if the presence could move in ways that humans can't. Because as is, again, it makes you unconsciously realize that this is just a cameraman. And then there's the plot, which I think feels a bit clunky because there's this whole subplot about the mother being mixed up in something illegal and the father considering separation to protect himself. And all of that ended up going absolutely nowhere. And finally, I thought that the performances of the teenager actors were very wooden. I didn't really believe they were real people at any point in time, just average actors reciting their lines. So all in all, I'd say it comes to a fairly average movie, which is underwhelming for most of it and admittedly has an amazing ending, but you gotta question whether it's worth the wait. For me, it wasn't strong enough to completely erase the film's flaws. Interesting experiment, not entirely successful though.